5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start. The collegium system of the highest judicial authority is a distinctive mechanism through which judges are selected for the superior courts within a democratic framework. This system evolved through judicial interpretation and institutional practice, becoming an essential feature of the judicial structure. It is grounded in the idea that independence of the judiciary must be protected from external influence, especially from the executive wing of governance. The collegium system attempts to ensure that the process of selecting judges remains insulated, balanced, and guided by legal wisdom rather than political considerations. The foundation of the collegium system rests on the belief that those who have spent their lives interpreting the law are best suited to identify individuals capable of undertaking the heavy responsibility of adjudicating significant matters. The highest judicial authority, through its senior-most judges, assumes the responsibility of recommending names for appointment or elevation. The concept is that judicial independence is safeguarded when judges are chosen by other judges who understand the ethos of the institution and the qualities required for the role. The functioning of the collegium involves a group of senior judges who collectively deliberate on proposals for judicial appointments. This group is composed and expanded based on established judicial convention. The deliberation focuses on professional competence, integrity, temperament, experience, and suitability of candidates for the position. The underlying philosophy is that a collective decision by several experienced judges is more balanced and reliable than a unilateral choice by a single authority. This collective decision-making process also reduces the possibility of personal bias influencing outcomes. Central to the collegium system is the principle of consultation within the judiciary. Recommendations are made only after detailed discussion and consideration of inputs from various sources. Collegium members examine past judgments, legal acumen, professional reputation and contributions of the recommended individuals to legal scholarship and justice delivery. They also assess the needs of particular courts, taking into account factors such as diversity, representation, and the demand for expertise in specific branches of law. Another important dimension of the collegium system is the communication between the judiciary and the executive. Although the collegium recommends names, the executive holds the responsibility of formal appointment. However, the executive is expected to give due regard to judicial recommendations and cannot act solely on its own preferences. If the executive expresses reservations about a recommended name, the collegium reconsiders the recommendation. If it reiterates the name after reconsideration, the executive is expected to proceed with the appointment. This system maintains a balance between the two wings while ensuring that judicial independence is preserved. The collegium system also plays a role in transfers of judges within the higher judiciary. Transfers are undertaken to maintain the efficiency and integrity of the judicial structure. They may be needed to fill vacancies, strengthen particular courts, or maintain administrative balance. As with appointments, transfers are decided through collective deliberation, ensuring that the process is transparent and free from external pressure. One of the strengths of the collegium system lies in its ability to protect the judiciary from influence by any external authority. Judicial independence is a cornerstone of democratic governance, and the collegium system is seen as a safeguard against the risk of undue interference. By giving the judiciary a decisive voice in selecting its own members, the system aims to ensure that judges remain free to decide matters without fear or favor. Despite its strengths, the collegium system has also been the subject of significant discussion and debate. Some critics argue that the system lacks transparency because deliberations and reasons for selections are not always made public. They feel that this may lead to an impression of opacity, leaving citizens without a clear understanding of how decisions are reached. Others argue that the absence of external oversight may result in decisions that reflect internal preferences of the judicial community rather than broader societal considerations. Supporters of the collegium system respond that confidentiality is necessary to protect the dignity of candidates and to allow frank discussions among senior judges. They emphasize that exposing deliberations to public scrutiny may make the process vulnerable to external pressures, thereby undermining judicial independence. They also hold that members of the judicial institution are well placed to assess the suitability of candidates because they interact with them professionally and have a deeper understanding of the qualities required. Over time, efforts have been made to introduce greater transparency into the collegium process. Information regarding recommendations and decisions is increasingly made available through public notices and official disclosures, that outline the names being considered and provide brief explanations of decisions. These steps aim to strike a balance between confidentiality and public accountability, strengthening public trust in the system while preserving its core objective of protecting judicial independence. The collegium system also reflects the evolution of constitutional interpretation. It emerged gradually as the judicial institution interpreted provisions relating to appointments and built a framework that aligned with the values of independence, impartiality, and fairness. This evolution demonstrates the judiciary's role not only as an interpreter of the law but also as a guardian of constitutional principles. Another important aspect of the collegium system is its reflection of institutional harmony. Even though the judiciary and the executive have distinct roles, they work together in the appointment process. The collegium recommends and the executive formalize appointments. This interdependence ensures a system of checks and balances. Neither institution holds absolute authority, and both must cooperate to uphold the integrity of the judicial structure. The collegium system continues to adapt to the changing needs of society. As the volume and complexity of cases increase, as diversity becomes more important, and as expectations of transparency rise, the system evolves accordingly. The judicial institution periodically reviews its own practices, seeks feedback from within, and introduces modifications when necessary. This capacity for self-reflection and improvement is essential for maintaining public confidence. The collegium system ultimately seeks to preserve the spirit of justice by ensuring that those entrusted with its delivery are selected through a principled and balanced process. Stop.